Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how
He's alive!
Welcome to where the weird ones are.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out.
Powerful figures in Hollywood as well as powerful politicians who are in fact not human. They're reptiles or they're lizards or perhaps extraterrestrials.
I don't think it is a human. I think it's a Sasquatch.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.
Let's get weird.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. My name is Kevin, but you probably already knew that. And if you did not, now you do. Today's episode is with Natasha. She is the host of Cryptids, Creeps, and Conspiracy podcast. Phenomenal podcast. She's a lovely person, very bright, energetic, and positive. A lot of good vibes and energy coming from her. I love talking to her. She's fun to talk to. Yeah. So she has a shit ton of stories. She's probably going to come back for a third time. So this is her second appearance. So if you missed her first appearance, I highly recommend checking that out. It's many, many moons ago now. So, but check out her podcast. I highly recommend it. It's really good. It's really good. She brings guests on and they talk about cryptids or creeps or conspiracy. So so we get into her because she did do investigation. So her first episode being on, we didn't talk about any of her paranormal investigation. So we did talk about one in particular where she went to the Ohio State Reformatory, talked about the history of the place and stuff like that, and some shit that happened to her where she's pretty sure a ghost or something tried to maybe murder her, possibly, who knows. Either way is freaking scary, and I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. If you know anything about the Ohio State Reformatory, it's where they filmed Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. It'd probably just burn the place down for me. That's my opinion. I don't know. But yeah, her stories are pretty interesting. I hope you guys enjoy it. But shout out to the sponsor, Flavors of the Forest. Get yourself some raw garlic dust, Bigfoot's breath. I highly recommend it. Very potent, better than anything you're going to get at the store, I promise you. So head on over to flavorsforest.com/weird. Get yourself a bunch of them because you're going to go through the first one and be like, shit, I need more. So get yourself a couple. Again, that's flavorsforest.com/weird. You can also follow them on Instagram, Flavors Forest. They also have lion's mane, ginger, and spicy, all together, mixed together with their garlic. So different flavors there. So ginger is good for spice if you like that. And then they just got the regular spicy. So it's good shit. I like it. I put it on my scrambled eggs like every day. So Nelson and Matt, good guys, good fucking guys. Yeah. One more time. That's flavorsforest.com/weird. Get yourself some. All right. So this weekend, I will be vending at Cryptid Halloween 3. I will have some hot sauce, some t-shirts, and I will be speaking. I will be speaking. So, yeah, if you guys want to come down, hang out, I'll have stickers too. Stickers will be free if you want to jog on with some stickers. So hopefully, meet some new people, maybe collaborate and stuff like that. But that's at if you're in the West Virginia area, it's a free event. Come on down, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. There's speakers. They're an actress who was in the movie Scream. If you know the bathroom scene where they're talking shit about Sydney in the very first Scream, it's the one with the short hair. She's gonna be there. She's been in a few horror films, so it should be a good time. Should be a good time. Knowing the fun that I have every time I get together with Jenny and Oren, this should be a special occasion. Definitely going to be an after party, so if you want to stick around and hang out with us for that too, that's cool. But if not, you do you, boo boo. What else? I think that's pretty much all I have to talk about, other than so Weird Java in the Morning is going to be dropping November 3rd, 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. Me and my buddy David, we're going to be doing a morning show. We're going to, we're going to do news. We're going to talk about some other shit. He's going to play us creepy video that he found, his creepy video of the week. We're going to do a segment with Like Mother, Like Murder, where they're going to give us information about a recent missing person, hopefully to help bring them home. The more we get their face out there and all that, the higher chance of sparking somebody's brain that might know something. Yeah, so we're also going to share some videos, some funny videos, cringy videos, interesting videos, and we're going to talk about it. Also, I do want to do a segment of Am I the Asshole and horror dating stories. Dating horror stories. uh, so if you have a horror story that has to do with dating, please submit them to where the weird ones are at gmail.com. I'll read your story, and then we'll discuss it. Am I the Asshole? Same thing. Where the weird ones are at gmail.com. I'll read your story, and then David and I will discuss it. But it's going to be one or the other each week. So we're not going to do both. Well, we might do both if we have enough. If we get 2 stories by November 3rd of one of each, then I'll read both of them. But it depends. It depends on how active people, because I know a lot of people don't like to participate. They just like to listen, and that's totally fine. I'm one of those people. When I listen to podcasts and they want ratings and reviews and to let them know what you think of the podcast and stuff like that. I don't write anything. I don't participate in that. So I totally understand. But while I'm on that topic, I do have some new reviews. 2, in fact. One from my good friend Alex Shea. You should go follow her at A Shea _ photography. She has some amazing photos that she takes with her fancy schmancy camera. But anyway, she writes, I can't even begin to tell you how much I love Kevin and his podcast. Truly such an inspiration in my life, and I'm so proud of all the work Kevin does. Not only does he give people a safe space to share their stories, but also brings awareness to mental health and so much more. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate it. The first time I read it, it kind of gave me warm, fuzzy, cuddly feelings. So this one is from Stephanie. She's actually co-host of Zach Solved Mysteries podcast, which is a pretty great podcast. I highly recommend. She says, "Where the Weird Ones Are is a captivating journey into the realms of the unexplained, whether you're a skeptic or a true believer. This podcast will leave you questioning the nature of reality and eagerly anticipating the next episode." I'm not sure if she listens to the podcast. I'm just kidding. That's very nice of you, Stephanie. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. So yeah. So if you guys have a dating horror story, please submit those, or am I the asshole story? And also, if you want to be featured on this show and tell your ghost stories, you want to talk about a conspiracy, you want to talk about mental health and spirituality and all that schmancy fancy friend shit, hit me up, where the weird ones are at gmail.com. You can also get me on Instagram, where _ the weird ones are, or Facebook, where the weird ones are. Just like the page, and then you should be able to message me. Or yeah. And then also we're gonna do a call-in segment on Weird Java in the morning. So yeah. It's going to be, so I have a community open on WhatsApp called Weird Java. I'm pretty sure you can find it if you have a WhatsApp, if you're on the app. If you type in Weird Java in the community section, you should be able to find it. Not 100% sure on that, but I'll put the link in the show description, or I'll put it in my link tree. So when you go to get on my link tree from Instagram, maybe I should probably start putting my link tree on here too. Maybe I'll make a page on the website. So yeah, if you like today's show, please like, follow, share, subscribe, leave a rating and review. I would greatly appreciate it. If your catcher does not allow a review, please leave a review on the website, where the weird ones are podcast.com. That's where you can get the merch. That's where you can get the hot sauce. And that is where you can get the coffee. The decaf coffee, false flag blend, is coming out soon. Should be in the store possibly by this weekend. But you know, I decided to call it false flag because it's not real coffee. It's just, there's no caffeine. It's not coffee to me. But there's a lot of people that just can't have caffeine but still love drinking coffee. So you still get the coffee taste and all that shit. So without the jitters. So yeah. I think that's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. All right. Well, I'll catch you guys on the other side. And if you're in West Virginia this weekend, come say hi. Okay, bye.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Weird, get weird.
Hey, what's going on, dudes and dudettes? This is Drewski from Cryptid Warfare and Conspiracies Podcast, and you're listening to Kevin on Where the Weird Ones Are.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. So happy to have you
Oh
here.
my God.
I have the Queen of Darkness with me today,
It's starting already.
Natasha,
I am so sorry. Did you
from
see
Cryptids
it?
Creepin'.
My
I didn't.
whole
I missed it.
computer
I was
just
looking at my camera.
my whole computer just like froze and you froze and then it was pending and I was like, oh shit, we're starting already. Okay, sorry. Take it from the top.
Where the fuck was? Oh yeah. So Natasha's from Cryptid Creeps and Conspiracy Podcast. So Natasha, if you don't mind saying hi to the two people that are listening today.
Hi,
and
two
let
people.
them know where they can find you and your podcast.
Well, I am pretty much everywhere. I am Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, all of those, and really anywhere that you can listen, you can find me. I'm actually on places I didn't even know existed until they showed up on my little statistics.
Mm-hmm.
But typically on the show, if you guys, I'm kind of in the same realm. I like to cover everything from obviously cryptids. For those of you who don't know what a cryptid is, I actually have come across that a lot. Think Nessie, Loch Ness Monster, Mothman, only I don't ever cover any of those. Except I do have encounters that people have firsthand, so I will put those on there. But I like to do the lesser known ones like Pukwudgie and Snallygaster. And then we have the creeps, which are the paranormal investigations that I do. I've been able to get a few done, but I'm wanting to get more on the books, but that costs cheddar, and this is a broke bitch that works 3 jobs. So I'm working on it. But in the meantime, I myself am haunted, and my computer's being a pain in the ass right now. I don't know if you can even still hear me.
I can hear you.
Good?
I can hear
you.
For
Me?
a second,
okay,
you
cool,
stopped.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to try something here really fast. Give me like 2 seconds. I am so sorry to listeners. But we are going to stiff arm these stupid ghosts in here. No offense. Sorry, just these nice ghosts in here. Because they are being a pain in my butt. And they do this all the time. I'm not joking. When I say I am haunted and I do spirit box sessions in the studio, they're everywhere. It's not the house that's haunted. It's me. But I go over a lot of stuff like that. That's just, I have investigators on the show with tools and methods that they like to use and go over stuff like that. And then I also have my own that I do. And then I like to find places and I go over the history of, say, the land or the facility, anything weird that's happened there, what other people have experienced, and then either the people that have been there that are on my show, or if I've been there, the experiences that I've had. So we kind of cover all of the bases. And then we sprinkle in conspiracies. I don't do a whole lot that are conspiracies full blown. I have 1 episode out right now, but most of the time it's if the topic has a conspiracy that surrounds it, then we touch base on it. And I really like to, you're looking around, and what's weird is I keep hearing something. And
there's there's mice in my wall, and they're squeaking, and I can hear them moving around. So I know that. So my studio's in the basement now.
Oh my goodness! Come on,
mice have gotten in.
You know what?
To the house, so they squeak.
I'm about to light the sage candle if these guys don't behave.
Yeah. So it's mice and crickets down here. And I've had somebody say, "Oh my God, change the fucking battery in your fucking smoke detector." I'm telling you, it's not the smoke detector. It's these fucking mice and crickets, bro. So
that's so weird. I don't even hear it. But yeah, so
I don't hear it now.
That's me. That's the stuff that I do.
I'm
weird. I do a bunch of very weird, crazy stuff, and to me it's normal, but to other people it's really messed up. Like apparently I have this really good knack for occasionally reading people's minds, not intentionally, but and not like in a weird way, but in a you can never worry about if you ever lose your spot. Typically, if you lose your spot and you can't think of what you're trying to say, don't worry because I got you, boo, because I always know. And I even had one today. I was like, how am I going to do my hair and makeup? So I texted a friend of mine and I was like, hey, I've got the show coming on and I haven't quite decided what I wanted to do. And they're like, oh, well, I don't know, maybe this, that, or the other, but they never actually explain it. So that I put my hair up like this and everything and sent a picture. They're like, holy shit, that is exactly what I was thinking. Like, exactly. They're like, how did you do that? I was like, talent, pure talent.
So for everybody that didn't listen to Natasha's first episode, she is psychic medium as well. So she can
It's
tell
so
you
weird
if you're
having
going to be
those
pregnant.
Well, okay, correction. I can't. It only happens when I'm dreaming and I don't understand it. I don't get it. I like to disclaimer. I cannot control it. It just happens. It's just a
Well, it's pretty
weird
dope
thing.
regardless.
Yeah, it's kind of like somebody with Tourette's. It's just kind of weird, but it's just part of who we are.
Exactly.
Although maybe I do sound
exactly.
I kind of sound like I got Tourette's sometimes too.
Oh man. So first of all, I love your show. I try and listen to it. I try to listen to all my favorite people that I like to talk to begin with, like our circle and stuff. I try and and get to everybody. I did listen to the one that you did with Stacy. I think it was like 2 weeks ago now.
Yes.
That was a good one. Yep.
I love that one. And what's funny is we had to record that twice because we had malfunction.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'm telling you, some things just sometimes they cooperate and sometimes they don't. And even so that's why I took the snippy and I put it on my social media stuff because we stopped. I mean, we were recording and we stopped for a good probably 5-10 minutes because I had my sensors on like I do now. And something like the kids were just all about Stacy. I mean, they just loved her and they just kept going off the whole time, kind of like you and Philip.
Yep.
So we actually stopped what we were doing, turned the spirit box on, and had a full I had a conversation. Like they were responsive and it was coherent to the point where I figured out exactly which one of the kids it was. It's pretty cool.
Wow, that's dope. That's really cool. So, so if you haven't checked out Natasha's show, I highly recommend you do so. And if you don't, then you'll probably get karmic, bad karma. Yeah.
I'll put a spell on you. You better watch out. I've sicked a demon on somebody before, and I didn't mean to.
Did you really? How the fuck did you do that, you weirdo?
So I was talking to somebody on the phone, and they were driving, and I was sitting there, and I was trying to explain it because we were just kind of having a conversation about the weird stuff because I was going to be on their show and all this, and I'm like, okay, and I'm trying to explain this thing, and I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. I was like, I wish I could just send it to you so you could see it. And right about that time, I hear, what the oh, wait, are we edited here?
No, we're not editing.
Okay,
You say whatever you want to say.
They're like, what the fuck? And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And they're like, dude, something. So there was a tree line. And like right after I said that, they saw something like kind of peek out from behind the trees. And they're like, what the hell was that? And they're just driving down the interstate, you know, because they couldn't stop. And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know what you saw. And they're like, it kind of sounds like it looked like what you were telling me you saw. So I actually went on Canva and I created what my thing would look like peeking out from behind the trees. And he was like, that is exactly what I saw. I was like, oh my God, I did not mean to sick a demon on you. I am so sorry. And I've actually sicked my ghosts on my husband a couple times because he's very skeptical. Okay. He's very skeptical and he just calls it hocus pocus, even though I repeatedly explain and prove to him that it happens. And I'm talking, one day they were just being crazy and they were just, I think it was the kids. And I'm like, you know what, guys, I know you're here. Okay. I get it. I know you're here. He doesn't believe me. So go mess with him. Leave me alone for a couple days. He doesn't believe me. And I kid you not. The next day I got a phone call at work because he was panicking. And he had walked out to take the mail out. And the treadmill that was on the porch, he walked by it and it turned itself on. And then he called me and he's like, what do I do? The treadmill's running. I'm like, what? He goes, it just turned itself on. It's like, well, make sure it's turned off. And he's like, it is. I was like, pull the safety switch. I said, that'll shut it off. And I could hear click. He goes, that didn't work either. It was still going. He had to unplug it from the wall. And he was like, oh, it was electrical. Then my Keurig the next day, because he still didn't believe him, okay, for everybody who does not own a Keurig machine, okay, you have to turn it on, fill it up with water. You have to open it and close it and then select the option you want. It doesn't just brew shit on its own, okay? And he called me mad because he thought I left a mess in the house because apparently between Now, again, I told him to leave me alone and pester him. Between me leaving for work and him getting up for work, it had brewed an entire large cup of coffee with no cup, and it went everywhere. I thought it was me.
That's funny. Holy cow.
Yes, apparently I can sick things on people unintentionally.
All right, don't sick anything on me. I don't want shit. I already got like this weird freaking shadow thing that visited me the last time we talked, so
yep.
I don't
he
want
didn't stay,
any
though, did
of
he?
that. No, I don't think
Okay.
so. I haven't had any issues, so my bedroom is now
good.
in that room, so I put my bedroom back up there. You know, because I can't decide where the fuck I want to have a fucking studio at. So I think this is my happy spot, though.
You just wander. Like I tell everybody, I always make decisions based on what speaks to me.
Yes.
You can't tell, but I am outside on a porch that I converted into a studio.
No shit.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Do you have a roof
Behind
at least?
this wall is brick. Oh, yeah, it's enclosed. I have electricity and all that.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's why I tell people, because I've had people that are like, oh, well, can you turn your sensors on? I'm like, no, like I can't reach. And right behind that wall is just brick. So, yeah.
Wow.
But it's okay.
Yep. Snazzy. That's interesting.
Doesn't matter. They follow me everywhere.
Yes. They'll, I mean, I've had this discussion like several times now. It doesn't matter where you are. If something wants to get to you, like spiritually, it's going to get to you. Unless you're protected. That's the only way. You got to protect yourself. Because a ghost isn't going to stay in the house, and a ghost isn't going to stay on a particular property unless they want to. Or, you know,
we have rules. They know, and they actually, at least one does go in the house, but I don't know if it's in the house, it doesn't come out here, or if it comes back and forth. But I actually have a divider that divides the porch here. And in my spirit box sessions since I put it up, they actually refer to that as the gate. So they know that bad stuff, if you're negative, you have to stay out of the gate. You can't come in. And in here's a safe zone. As long as you're, wanting to communicate, you're not going to do anything like crazy, then you can come in. And then when I stop, we shut everything down and we have a discussion. I'm like, you guys know the drill. You have to stay out on the porch. You're not allowed inside, but I'll be back to talk to you guys later. And then usually it's okay. A lot of times they listen to me. I haven't quite figured out why yet. Maybe they can actually hear me too. Wait, maybe. That might be it.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Sorry, I got a little possessed there for a second. I don't know why I keep doing that.
If Philip is there, so when I was on your show, Philip went crazy on the fucking, what is it, cat ball?
Yes.
Behind you.
This is right here for everybody watching.
So how did you figure out that it was Philip? Like, did it come to you like a medium does,
Well, what's interesting was it kept going off when you were on. So the moment I mentioned you, and it's not just while you were on the episode. I mean, I was on somebody else's live feed. I'm pretty sure it was Stacy. And we were doing a live, and you popped into the chat and the ball went off. Like it recognized your name. Oh
yeah.
And it started going off.
I remember that.
And when we were recording, sorry, got a little weird over here. It seemed like it was a man is all I knew at first. And I remember because I was like, I feel like it is. So I turned my spirit box on and I was like, hey, why don't we see if we can, figure out who it is? And I was like, what's your name? I was like, can you tell me what your name is? And all the box said the whole time it was on was Philip. It just said Philip. And I was like, oh, hi, Philip. And then after that, it's been kind of every now and then, like I've actually been like, hey, I want Philip here. Can Philip come out? Like bring Philip to me. I want to talk to him. I need to ask him some questions or I need to ask him a favor. Like I asked Philip to go get someone for me the other night and they actually showed up. It was freaking crazy. I had a friend with me and we were doing a spirit box session together, and she was wanting to talk to a certain, my God, something is like really messing with me, was really wanting to talk to a certain person. So I was like, hey, Philip, can you bring me this person? And then they ended up like the talking and the words that the spirit box was saying were very pertinent to her and the person she was looking for. It was so bizarre. But I've been like, oh, Philip, can you do this? Or hey, Philip. And he'll sometimes come. I don't know. So we just go with it. But I do think he's an older gentleman. I would say, like, just from kind of what I can kind of feel from him is kind of like I said, older guy. He kind of seems kind of fun. He likes jokes. He does light up the ball a lot whenever we make jokes. And but he does, it's weird because whenever I picture what he looks like, he seems a little bit more, I don't want to say, I guess dapper is the only word for whatever reason. It's like he seems a little sophisticated looking, but he has a good sense of humor. So I was like, maybe he was a teacher or something, or professor, but I have no idea where he came from. He only showed up when I recorded with you, and then he just kind of stayed.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't get
because
it.
I don't know anybody named Philip personally. Well,
Yeah.
I know Exploring with Phil, that's probably the only Phil that I know, but like even he has, I've only known him for a very short period of time, so obviously it's not his ghost because he's alive.
Yeah. That'd be kind of weird, unless it's like, what is it, astral projecting or something?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I summoned someone to astral project here, and they're like, I don't know, in the middle of something important, like a job interview. Like, what happened? And then all of a sudden they're just like, and they're like, hello? Like, is anyone here? Sorry, sir, you didn't get the job today.
Now this whole tuxedo thing seems a little weird.
Well, it wasn't tuxedo. It was like like what you would wear to an interview, like you know, suit jacket, and yeah.
Yeah, I was referencing Step Brothers.
Oh, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute, and not my favorite. No offense, not my favorite movie. I am not a huge Will Ferrell fan. I know people hate me for that, but I like intelligent humor.
He's not. He's like pretty much. It's like Adam Sandler. They're the same character in like every movie, both of them.
Yeah, I do like Adam Sandler a little bit though. I like the old Adam Sandler movies.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Bedroom Story killed it.
Bedroom Stories. I like Bedroom Stories though. I think I liked it mainly because my kids liked it.
Oh, my kid doesn't know what it is.
Yeah. Pixels. My kids love it, but it's not.
Okay,
I don't care for it.
Oh, I like that one, and my son loves that movie.
Yeah. So, I think, and then I like how some of the later movies, like as in the most recent ones, kind of like give homage to his older movies, like Hubie Halloween touched on Happy Madison. Like there was like little play on Happy Madison there. So that was pretty cool.
Yes, I did like that one too.
And another reason why I like that is because my kids got to be on set for that movie for the last day of filming. So that was pretty dope.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, P.S. If he decides to be a monkey and not cooperate anymore, I'm going to send you the clip that I created before we started recording so that you can insert it if you want to. Because I was literally like, I'm getting ready to record with Kevin, and look at this shit. I was like, and I mean, it was like just kept going. And I was like, okay, I guess. Hello?
It's all right. It's all right if Philip, if you don't want to communicate tonight, that's totally fine. I'm okay with it. But other than that, I would like you to
watching the show.
Maybe he came over here.
What's the word I'm looking for? He's it's not vagrant. It's what do they call it when you watch the creepers? He's voyeurism. He's got voyeurism.
Yeah, voyeurism. The peeping Toms.
Yeah.
He's got a case of the peeping Tomin.
But who else better to be a peeping Tom than someone you can't see?
Right, exactly. Like,
or worse, Or would that be the worst person to have a peeping Tom? I guess it depends on which side you're on.
I would rather have a non-physical peeping Tom, I guess, would be
I don't know.
the...
I feel like if I was on the other side of the glass than the peeper,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would be more comfortable knowing I don't know when they're watching me. I do have a potty poltergeist.
You have a potty poltergeist?
It literally,
what the fuck does that mean?
I call it the pot. I think it's Gertrude. It's an older lady that's been in the house since I got here. I don't know where she came from. I don't know her, but Gertrude is the name. It literally, Spirit Box says it and everything, and that's what I get. And for some reason, nobody else has this problem, but when I go into the bathroom, we have two sets of lights. There's the one above the mirrors, and then there's the one like on the ceiling, right?
Mm-hmm.
One set of lights flickers the entire time, especially when I'm in the shower. And then when I walk out of the bathroom, it stops. So either I have magic light powers or I've got a ghost in the bathroom with me all the time.
Probably with you all the time.
When I've heard like the door, like I hear the door latch and close, and I think something like my husband's coming in or something. And I'm like, oh, hey. And then I like look and there's nothing there. It's like the opposite of that scary movie where you move the curtain, you know?
Yeah.
but this time there's nothing there, even though you clearly hear it.
Yeah, I will. So not all the time, but every once in a while when I'm in the shower, sometimes I hear voices. And it sounds like two women usually. It's always two female voices talking. And I'm just like, and every time I hear it, I have to like because sometimes I hear it really good, sometimes it's very faintly. But I can never hear what they're saying, and then I never really think of it, anything of it. Sometimes I think it's freaking like maybe I left the TV on or something silly like that, or maybe even somebody's outside talking and I just can hear them faintly, you know? So maybe. I'll be like, is somebody there? And then I get nothing.
Hello? Now here's the question. Is it always the same voices?
Oh, see, all I know is that they're feminine. That's all I could tell you.
You can't okay, so I clearly, well, for all your listeners, I don't normally sound like a sexy call worker. I've been sick for 3 weeks, and like I just haven't got my voice back. To be fair, I really don't know if this is just my permanent voice now. I'm a little bit nervous, but it might just be. But like I sound very different than I did 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering, like, is it the same pitch, or maybe one talks fast and the other one doesn't? I just didn't know if there was anything that you could tell.
I would say like it usually sounds the same. I would say. Okay. I guess it sounds.
So you probably didn't leave the TV on because you're probably not watching the same episode of the same show every time you're in the shower.
True. That's true.
See, I got
That's
you.
True. That's true. But
which leads it to ghosts or neighbors.
Ghosts or neighbors for sure. It's definitely female. It's definitely a woman. But and then every once in a while I'll have my back to the curtain, just kind of like feeling the water run on my back, and I'll see like a shadow cross across my window, like from the light that's coming in from my window, and I'll see a shadow on the wall of the shower, and I always turn around and I'm like, what the fuck was that? And there's nothing there. And I literally sometimes it's my dog. Sometimes my dog is coming in, but she's not tall enough to go across the light from the window. You know what I mean? So,
it really was silly like a dog, giraffe dog.
So I have to open the curtain and like look out when that happens because I feel like somebody's in the bathroom, and there's never anybody there.
Maybe you have a potty poltergeist too.
I guess the fuck so. I never really put that into, like, I always thought it was like, I always put it to like just my mind playing tricks. Maybe like there was a gust of wind coming in from the window and it moved like the curtain or something, and you know, stuff like that.
Maybe once or twice, but a lot.
Yeah.
A lot with consistency.
Yeah. True. And when I'm in the shower, I don't know. So I mean, I never really.
if I could conjure myself outside your shower occasionally, I'm not gonna say that I wouldn't do it. Just saying. Shameless plug there. I may have a little voyeurism myself. But did you like how I just totally turned the tables there? It was like I just totally was like, here, let me interview you for a second. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just took over your show.
It's cool. It's totally fine. I like talking about, things that I've experienced too every once in a while. So actually, I think I bring up my personal stuff and like every episode. I will say that I do talk about the mushroom people maybe a little bit too much, and I think people might be getting irritated. It's just when I have a guest on that has like this extremely like strange occurrence, like this strange ass experience with aliens, especially mainly aliens, because I think the mushroom people might have been alien. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or elemental. So like anybody that's experienced like an elemental fairy kind of thing or alien, I always, Jesus Christ, that was fucking weird. I got a hiccup right there.
You know what's funny? As soon as you did that, I got that same spinny wheel. Like you did that, and my screen came up with the trying to reconnect.
Oh, jeez. We're being haunted tonight.
Oh, it's all right.
We are being haunted.
All right, guys,
tonight.
you know the rules. Only nice ones in here. If you're not nice, go away. But feel free to communicate. You know the drill. Hit the lights.
Absolutely. So what the main reason why I wanted you on the show tonight, because you have done investigations. So I wanted to ask you what your first ever investigation was and where it was.
My first official investigation was probably, I think it was Ohio State Reformatory. Yeah, I went to Ohio State Reformatory, and it was messed up.
Yeah.
Now, and that's like official with, guides, and we did like a seance, and we did all of these things, and there was a lot going on. I had done some, come on. When ghosts follow you everywhere, you can't not. I literally was used as a beacon for people looking for houses. They would be like, here, come with us. We're looking at this house. And I'd be like, okay. And I'd walk around, and then we'd leave, and they're like, so did you pick anything up? And I was like, sometimes I'd be like, dude, that second bedroom on the third floor, man, something's up. Or like, yo, don't go in that basement. But like sometimes I'd be like, no, I didn't get anything. It was fine. They're like, okay, then we'll get it.
That's funny.
But like I've done stuff like that where I've just kind of like poked around just because I never understood it. Before I started doing this, I just kind of, I thought everybody did it. So I would kind of be like, oh, every now and then test it and be like, oh, what does this do? Like, is anything in here? Is anything going to happen? But as far as actual investigation goes, where I was finally getting kind of like sinking my teeth in and stuff, was probably the Ohio State Reformatory.
Wow. That's interesting. Well, yeah. So what made you want to go there for like an official?
Well, I really, when I said I do things that call to me, that's pretty much, I have no idea. I was literally just looking at places, and I was like, you know what? I like this one. So I called a friend of mine, and I was like, yo, you want to come check out this like haunted place? And she's like, yeah, sure, let's go. And so what's interesting too is she picked out it wasn't an Airbnb. It was an actual bed and breakfast. I thought maybe I was going to like get murdered in this place. So you show up, it's like Scooby-Doo shit, right? So you show up, it's this like gorgeous, very, very, very old 2-story porch with a little porch swing, and there's 2 really old people that own the place, like mom and pop, and there's no central air. It's in the middle of fucking summer. I thought I was gonna die. We literally went to like Dollar General and bought a fan to put in the bedroom because it was so hot. And you walk in, and everything in there is like original or antique, and there's old photos, and I was just so over. Like I walked in, and I was like, whoa, okay. I was like, the party's gonna get started early, and it was just, it was really cool though. They made the best fucking parfaits. Oh, their breakfast there was phenomenal. A+. I wish I could remember who it was because I could tell you, but I really don't remember. But it's in a little tiny town next to Ohio State Reformatory. But yeah, I was just scrolling through, and I was like, this one feels right. And it just so happened that it worked out on the day and the time. And so it was just kind of fate picked it for me. Hold on, my door opened. I think somebody's out here.
Dope.
Okay. We're good. They're getting dog food.
So what did you end up experiencing at the reformatory?
Here, hold on. Wait, I don't know if you can hear him slinging dog food over there. So wait a second.
Yeah. It was very light, though.
Sounds like a gentle breeze of dog food.
Yeah, it's just like a...
All these people with pets are going to be like, son of a bitch.
Now I need to go get some dog food.
What is it when they're like camping in that commercial with the cat treats and they shake the cat treats, all the cats come out of the woods?
Oh, no, I haven't never... No, yes, okay, never mind. I don't know.
Okay, I think we're good. But anyway, so Ohio State Reformatory, it was a little intense a couple times. So it wasn't all business the whole time, which anybody out there investigating knows that typically, you've got to put hours and hours and hours in before you get anything. I mean, these shows that you're watching on TV that have 30 to 60 minutes of activity filmed for probably a week or more. But it was actually still really active at this place. For my first one, it totally blew my mind. So one of the things was, the first thing we did, we kind of showed around and we looked around and, you kind of, I kind of got a little bit of like off vibes in a couple places, but it wasn't anything major. But then we went up and we went to the chapel and we did a seance, which I've never done a seance before. I know. Let me tell you.
Wow.
Don't bring the lady with witchy history, like with witchy genes to a fucking seance, all right? Oh. So anyway, or I guess bring them if you're interested. But so they had all the pews set up, right? And there's probably 25 of us, maybe 30. And we're all just spread out, sit wherever you want, And we go through and he's explaining it to us. So he's got his recorder, like the old school ones, which typically work better for anybody who's interested. And he's like, this is what we're going to do. He's like, we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to hit record. We're going to do this, or I'm going to ask a question. We're going to ask multiple questions. We're going to allow time. Then we're going to stop it and we're going to play it back to see if we heard anything. So we continue and everything's kind of fine. We're Gucci, right? Everything's normal. And he's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to hit record and we're going to go through every single person. They're like, he's like, I'm sorry if you're not comfortable. Think of a question. He goes, I don't care what the question is. Everyone has to ask a question. He goes, it could be, how was your day? What's your favorite food? Whatever it is, just pick something. And we're going, and they went through one whole side of the room. Nothing. And then they get to me, and I was like, okay, so I don't even remember what I asked. I think it was like, I think I did ask, what's your favorite color? I like that question, and I don't know why, but I do get responses sometimes. So I think maybe that's why I like it. And I was still good. I was still all right. Then it goes to the row behind me. And it's like, there's 4 people. And it's like 1, 2. And then all of a sudden, I felt horrible. It was like everything stood up. Like all the hairs stood up. I was super dizzy, lightheaded. And I just felt like I was going to puke, to the point where I was trying to get my friend's attention and we were looking for something for me to puke in. Because like, it's coming. I was like, I can't stop it. It was so uncomfortable and so heavy. And I just wanted to puke everywhere. And the lady asked a question. And I'm still sick. And all of a sudden we hear this big crash because the lights are off. Right. And we hear this big crash and it sounds almost like a sheet of sheet metal falling. And just, like that weird metal, like, when you make the thunder sound kind of from the old cartoons. And it like hits the ground and there's like a big thud. And of course, everybody like stops because there's nothing behind us. We're in an abandoned freaking building. There's no sheet metal hanging around. But we hear this big crash. And then a couple seconds later, I'm fine. I'm not sick. I'm not dizzy. I am perfectly normal. And it was just really strange because we went through, because when he was playing it back, he's like, does anybody, whatever. And kind of just like, has anybody heard anything? I think he was like flashing. I don't know why. But I raised my hand. I was like, hey, I don't know if it's important. I'm like, but I said, right before that happened, when we played it back, I said, right before that happened, I said, I was so sick. I was like, I was about to blow chunks all over whoever was in front of me. I was like, I was dizzy. I couldn't think. I was like, I don't know what was going on. I said, but the moment that stopped, I said, wait, maybe 5-10 seconds. And then I was fine. And then ironically, the guy, because again, this is before I got into everything. So I just thought that was normal. I didn't think anything of it. And the guy was like, so you're pretty sensitive, aren't you? And I was like, I don't know. Am I? Like, maybe. My friend's like, yes, she is. And I was like, because I'm in denial. I'm still in denial. Okay. I mean, I could do all this crazy stuff and I prove it to myself time and time again, but I'm still like, do I really want to put that label on me? I don't know. I'm just weird. As I tell people, I'm like, I'm just weird. But
you are weird.
I am very weird. So that happened. Then we broke out and we were able to go just kind of free range chicken the place.
That's cool.
And my friend and I, there was a spot in the attic, and this is horrible. There was another prison back in the day that had flooded, and they didn't have anywhere to put the inmates. Now, generally, Ohio State Reformatory, again, reformatory, specify. It was there for low violence, first-time offenders, probationary people that probably were not going to be violent at all. They just were non-violent offenders. And they, had gardens and grew their own stuff. They gave each other, they were very self-sufficient. They were trying, back when we actually tried to get these people to function in society when they were released. And they, for a long time, really stuck with that and were able to do that. But when that place flooded at the other penitentiary, they had nowhere to put these people. So they shoved all 200 people in this attic space. And I'm talking all kinds of violent offenders of all kinds. It doesn't matter if you assaulted the next door neighbor or you murdered your family. You were in this room together. There was one guard outside and they locked the door. Imagine how that went. Needless to say, not very many people got out of there. And let me tell you, that place, when I walked in it was heavy. I mean, really heavy. And we're like, let's try to make it to the back. I'm a glutton for punishment. You'd think I would learn, right? And we start walking, and I just stopped, and I was like, something's in here. And she's like, what? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't want to turn around. I was like, but there's something's in here with us. And I was like, and it's not a good thing. And she's like, oh God, what? So we both stopped, and she's like, what do we do? And I'm like, well, me being me, I'm like, okay, we're going to turn around. Because maybe, I keep telling myself, maybe there's nothing there, right? It's all in my head. It's nothing, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, we're going to turn around and look. She's like, we're going to what? I was like, we're going to turn around and look. I was like, ready, set. And we both slowly turn. And there is a fucking shadow man next to the door. And he kind of looked, all right, so I'm going to show a little bit of my roots here. If you have not been from a rural or farming community, there is a thing called, I'm trying to remember what it's actually called, but anyway, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a black silhouette of a cowboy, and he's leaned up against something, and he's got one leg bent, and his head's down. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he stands probably,
if you know, you know. That's what this thing looked like without the hat. It was just leaned up against this thing, and we're just staring at it, and it's not moving. Mind you, there is one way in and one way out, and he's standing by it. So I was like, shit.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
I was like, okay. I was like, turn around. She's like, I don't know. I was like, just turn around. And I turned around. I was like, okay. I was like, whatever, whoever is back there. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, I know you don't want us in your space. I said, but you're blocking the only exit. I need you to move we will leave. I was like, I am so sorry if we, invaded your space. We'll leave. I said, but we can't leave until you move. So please just move and I will be out of your hair and we'll leave. And I was like, okay. And I was like, 1, and we counted to 3 and we turned around and he was gone and we bolted out of there. I mean, we bolted out of there. But something did not want us in there. And it was just like it was guarding the door. I was like, oh, we'll leave, but you got to get the GTFO because I'm not going to be able to make it out of there with you standing by it.
Yeah, no. I don't think I would have wanted to leave with it standing there either.
And I'm just like, yeah, no, thank you. So we did that. And that's not even all of it. So I have 2 major things that happened after that. I'll save the best for last.
Okay.
I thought I almost died. I had a ghost try to kill me.
No shit.
That's gonna be the last one. But the next one, we split into groups, small groups, and we went with the professional investigators. And they're like, okay, you pick the spot. We're gonna do these questions and answers, and we're gonna do this stuff. And of course, my friend is like, she's a beacon. So she literally used me as a radar. I was a ghost star. And everybody else is like, oh, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what to do. My friend's like, trust me, I got this. She's like, you go. She's like, let me know when you feel something. And the guy kind of looked at her and looked at me and he was like, okay, sure. Like, let's try it. So we just start walking down these cells and I'm like, nope. We get to one and it was like, I made it halfway past and I was like, ooh, okay, hold on. So I backed up. I was like, this one. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, that one. And he's like, okay, well, we need 2 volunteers. Congratulations, you and your friend get to go. So we had to go into this cell, this abandoned cell in this haunted fucking prison. And we had to sit on the bed. There was still the original bed in there. Oh. And I mean, the moment, like when you cross that line to get into that jail cell, it was like walking through a curtain for me. She doesn't really have anything going on, but it was like a light mist. It was like you could just feel there was something going on in there and like a change. And so we both sat down on the bed. And he's like, okay, if you want to communicate, all that stuff, use the girls, so we got basically voluntold. And what's interesting is, so we all know, okay, for everybody who doesn't know me, let's see here, words to describe me. I am loud. I am bold. I am energetic. I am bossy. I am a very, very, I guess, alpha type personality, but I'm also very social. So my friend, on the other hand, very, very timid, very quiet, very shy. That's just how she's always been. We were sitting on that bed and we looked at each other and it was really weird because I was like, I felt afraid of her. For some reason, I was afraid of her. And I wanted to back away. Like, I just wanted to run and get away from her. And she was like, they're like, well, do you feel anything? And she's like, and I'm like, it's okay. I said, it's okay. Just tell them. If you feel something, tell them. I was like, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I understand what's going on. And she's like, I don't know why, but I want to hurt you. She's like, I am just so angry. And that's just not her. It's like we swapped personalities temporarily.
Yeah.
After we go through all of this, the guy finally tells us that the 2 people that were in that cell together did have, in fact, those exact same personality traits. And the one killed the other one in the cell.
Shit.
Yeah. It was totally, and we were just like, oh, and then everybody was like, we get out there like, you weren't kidding, were you? I was like, no. I was like, it was so weird because I was like, in the moment we walked out of the cell, we were back to normal. We were fine. It was just really weird. Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. That's why I've heard of similar stories, and I don't think I ever want to be in a situation where that could happen to me. Not that I have control over it, of being in a situation like that, because that can just happen. But I don't know. I feel like I would just be like, all right, I'm never investigating anything haunted ever again.
Well, and what's weird was it kind of lends me to, was something taking us over, or were they just influencing us? Like, how much power did they have while we were in there? Because she didn't actively, try. She knew enough to be like, this is weird. Like, why am I mad at you? I don't even have a reason to be mad at you. This is stupid. And I know that I had no reason to be afraid of her, but I still was like, everything was itching. Like, that fight or flight. Flight or flight. You bitch, you running either way.
Yeah.
But it was the same kind of thing, only I just wanted to run. And okay, but that's that one. And then we have one more weird thing that happened. And at the time, I didn't think anything of it. But now that I think about it, I'm like, that probably wasn't good. Because we went, and for everybody who's never been there or ever seen pictures, basically you walk out and you walk into this big open room. There's like, the infirmatory or infirmatory, dear God, infirmary. Jesus. And then there's a staircase on one side. It's basically a giant big pillar with cells all the way around every flight. And on one side is like zigzaggy stairs to take you to the top and the bottom. Only on one side. So you have to go. So if you're in one and you climb up the first story of cells and you walk all the way to the end, if you want to go back down, you have to walk around or back over all the way to the staircase to go down. There's no other outlet. So it's basically cell stacked on top of cell, stacked on top of cell. And as you go up, the only thing that's keeping anything from going over is, I'm trying to think of where I've seen these, like a bus station maybe, where it's like two metal, like thin metal rails. They're usually painted yellow when you see them out in public. But there's like two little yellows and then the sporadic, vertical ones. So that's, sorry, I just got a little dizzy. So that's all that's keeping you from going over the edge. And we're just wandering. And of course, she's using me as a beacon as usual. And we're on the third story. And we go all the way down one. And we're like, okay, nothing. We walk around the last corner. And the moment I turned and cleared that corner, I was like, whoo, okay. I was like, something down here is going on. Like, something's happening down here. I was like, I don't know how far, but something's down there. So we're like, what are we going to do? And I'm like, again, idiot. I'm like, let's see how far we can go. I'm an idiot. So anyway, so I start, and of course she puts me first. So she's pushing me ahead of her. And she's what I thought was right behind me. Later found out she just kept kind of slacking off as I kept going. So it was kind of like, eat her, take her instead. But I'm going, and I was probably 2 or 3 cells. And I mean, when I was walking towards it, it was almost like when you walk against a heavy wind, like it was pushing, like it didn't want me to go back there. My dumb ass went anyway. Because again, I'm new to this. I just think it's, I've had so many people tell me for so long that it's bullshit that I just believe that it was all in my head. So I was like, okay, nothing's going to hurt me. It's fine. And so I just kept pushing and pushing. And then I finally got to like the third one. And it was again, I mean, it was like everything stood up. Like I was on alert. Everything was just crazy. And something physically grabbed my shoulders and shoved me, like pushed me and kept pushing me towards where I came from. So you have the square and I'm like down here and it's pushing me back this direction towards the corner. So I turned around and I was telling her, I'm like, run, like just run. Because I was like, I didn't know what else to do, right? And this thing was literally like, it almost felt like it was running and pushing me. Like I was getting speed. And it wasn't slowing down. I was getting closer and closer and closer to this railing, which again, 2 little bars and then 3-story drop. And so I tried to pick up the pace a little to try to outrun it. And so I got like a little bit where like I didn't feel like it was pushing me as much. Like it was still pushing, but it wasn't like as much contact. And I mean, it ran me all the way to the end. And then I hurried up and just turned around the corner. And the moment I turned around the corner, everything just stopped. Like whatever it was just left me alone. But I mean, this thing was just going to shove my ass over. It didn't care. And I just was like, was that attempted murder? Like, what the hell's happening? So the little sidebar here, not only did that happen, we were by ourselves, didn't say anything. Because again, I feel weird because something's pushing me. So I didn't say anything. And I was like, I don't know, like, did you see anything? Did you see anything? I was like, I don't know. When we went to leave, we talked to the security guard that was out front because he had to let us in and out, to lock it to make sure nobody came in and did anything. And we're like, hey, how long have you worked here? He's like, oh, about 10 years. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, have you experienced anything weird since you've been working here? He goes, actually, there was this one time. And I was like, okay, well, what happened? He goes, well, I was on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah. And he goes, I don't know what happened. He goes, but I turned one of those corners. He goes, and I was only like 2 or 3 cells in. He goes, and this is a big man. I mean, he is a big, tall dude. And he goes, I was hanging onto that railing for dear life because something was pushing me so hard, I thought it was going to throw me over the edge. So, and I hadn't said anything. So whatever got to him was what got to me. And we hadn't ever met, never talked. I didn't even incline. We were just like, yeah, what happened? Like, but we didn't say anything. And we walked away. We're like, saging the shit out of ourselves. Sage in the car, sage everywhere. I keep sage sticks in my car just in case. You never know.
You got to stay prepared.
Follow you around. Sometimes you got to forget Cheech and Chong. I mean, I'm just waiting for the time a police officer's like, excuse me, miss, what are you doing in here with all the smoke? And be like, I'm saging this motherfucker. I'm not getting high. I promise. I'm not getting high. This is not Cheech and Chong. This is ghost shit. All right.
That's fucking funny. I wonder if it's like a residual thing. Like, was there ever like fights on the? Do you know? I should ask first.
Well,
do you know if there was like fights on the 3rd floor or anything like that? Like some kind of like riot where somebody was just running down that hallway and then maybe jumped off over the railing or something?
Well, that's the thing is I couldn't find. I mean, there was a few deaths, but nothing was real. A lot of them were like down in what they called the hole. Because again, the place is flooded. The other prison really flooded, but this one also flooded, and solitary was literally a hole in the ground.
Yeah, right.
That they would cover, and it flooded, and they didn't let them out.
Ugh.
So they all drowned. But
that's terrible.
I didn't hear anything about, and if it's just like fights and stuff, I mean, it's a prison, right? Or whatever. Right. So I don't think that they would even document it. But yeah, I don't know. That's but something. Be careful on the 3rd floor, y'all, if you go to Ohio State Reformatory.
Well, I'm not going to Ohio State Reformatory, so I'm going to stay here clear of that shit. Fuck that. I don't want to be fucking, nope.
Yeah, nope. I mean, I was just like, and actually, that is the only time, that's the only time anything's gotten real physical with me.
Yeah.
Like, ever. I mean, well, we do have the creeper that does kind of like but he's in my house, and I'm hoping he's kind of gone. He hasn't done it in a while, but I had a creeper in the house that liked to touch me. Like,
yeah.
Let me put it this way. I have a headband that I sleep with, so I put it on so that I can't see the lights because I'm a light sleeper, and then I play music so that way I could sleep. I thought my husband was trying to start a little, that's what kind of like, that's how much, I thought something was touching me. And now granted, it stopped at my mid-thigh, so don't get any ideas. This wasn't that American Horror Story kind of situation.
Yeah.
But it was like it started at my foot, and then it went to my ankle, and it just felt like a hand, just just somebody was touching me, like just resting their hand on me. And then it went calf, behind the knee, and then like mid-thigh, and I thought it was my husband. I took my headband off, turned around, and there was nothing there. And I was like, okay, you're done. It's like, you got to go. I was like, we're not doing this. No, thank you. And what's funny is I actually just did a spirit box session, I think 2 or 3 days ago. And Sorry, I just got a kick out of it. I had a horny ghost in here.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, I mean, I shit you not. So it's on my episode that I was recording with Melissa from Ouch, Was That a Ghost?
Yeah.
And I just left them running while we were doing our episode. And because it was a Halloween episode, so I was like, I'll just leave them going to see if anybody wants to, communicate or whatever. And at one point it was like, do you want it? And then I had 2 boxes going on, one on each side of me. And it said, do you want it? The other one's like, it's hard. And then it was like bangable. And then I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, okay, you gotta go.
Take that testosterone somewhere else, sir.
Yeah. I was like, excuse me. I was like, I'm flattered, but no thank you.
I listened to that episode too, actually, with Melissa from Ouch, Was That a Ghost? So, or has that one come out yet?
Okay. I have a bunch. The one I'm talking about hasn't come out yet. We just recorded it. It's coming out not this week, but next week.
Okay, but you just did put one out with her, right?
I don't remember what I did the last one with her. I have a lot on my show with her. I've had her on a lot.
All right, because I just literally listened to one with her on, and we were actually at an event together in Massachusetts, and I didn't even realize it was her until after, when she posted pictures. I walked by her table, not even looking at her table or anything, and I was like, if I would have just glanced at what she had, I would have known that it was her. Yeah, because awesome. She was selling her merch, like Ouch, Was That a Ghost?
She was selling some of mine.
Was she?
I made some merch for her to sell. My crochet guys.
Yeah.
I made some just for her to sell at her events.
Oh man, damn!
You missed it.
I missed out. I can't believe I sat and I was like, I remember making eye contact with this blonde woman across the way when everybody was out watching.
Like a good
story. When somebody was out watching I spoke there and I spoke outside, and then so there was 2 of us, 2 speakers that spoke outside, 2 speakers that spoke inside. So the last guy was speaking outside, and I was just sitting there, and like everybody, like people had already packed up to leave. It was a small event, but it was a really good one. Like the way it was put together was dope. And good. I kept making eye contact with this girl across the freaking way, and I'm like, why does that lady keep looking at me? And then I would like every once in a while I'd look up and she'd be looking over here, and I'd be like, oh. I'm gonna pretend I didn't just see her staring at me. But if I would have known, I wouldn't. She was probably like, "Hello, dude. We've fucking like, do you know who I am?" In a kind of sort of way. But yeah.
I did that too. I had when I went to CryptidCon last year, I had been talking back and forth with Cryptid Creatures with Todd and Brian, but I never saw them in person.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just walking around, and all of a sudden I was like, wait, I know this logo. And I walked up to him and I was like, hi, I know you. And they're like, what? They're like, who are you? Because we never actually met each other. They're like, well, who are you? And I was like, I'm Natasha. I was like, and I told them my podcast. They're like, oh, crap. So that's how I met them. And it was only because I recognized their logo on a banner.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. And now we see each other at other events and stuff. So.
Yeah, and you and I walked by each other a few times last year too at CryptidCon, so not even knowing. I don't think we ever communicated at that point, though. I don't think we were in the circle.
Well, yet. So also, that was middle of November.
Yep.
My podcast didn't debut until Christmas Day, so there was like a whole month before
Yeah, that makes sense then.
Yet.
I got you.
I was a ghost.
You were a ghost. You look like a ghost, and you kind of act like one, too.
It's the pasty skin. Believe it or not, actually, here, check it out. I've got a tan line.
I can't tell. It's so dark over there. No, I can't see it.
You can kind of see it right there. Right there.
Oh, a little bit.
A little bit. They make me go outside for work.
Oh, how dare they?
Assholes. I literally have a sunbrella and sunscreen, and they get so mad because I put my sunscreen on. They're like, it smells like Holiday World in here. And I'm like, well, I was like, if you're going to make me go outside, I was like, I'm going to get burnt. And they're like, oh, whatever. I literally did not put sunscreen on and I walked out. I wasn't even out there for 5 minutes and I walked back in and I was burnt. And I was like, see?
I'm telling you, white people are a mutation. White people weren't meant to exist. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah.
There's so many things out there that harm us.
I know you can't tell on your thing because my light, which is really funny because my hair is so orange, but in my studio, the light makes my hair look brown. But I have orange hair. So that just made it worse.
Well, you're part Nephilim. That's why. That's also. So you definitely weren't supposed to exist.
I think I'm probably more demon than angel, but okay.
Well, Nephilim is not an angel. Nephilim is an abomination.
I thought Nephilim that's what happened when the angels came down and slept with humans. They made Nephilim.
Yeah, but they weren't angels. They were technically demons. That's what they think demons are Nephilim. The spirits of Nephilim. So
I like that. We're gonna have to talk about this further another time. We could really go deep there. That's all right. That's what she said. But
it's the name of your sex tape.
We could really go deep there. No, we've already. So when we did our live things, we had to come up with porn names, and then like every other time we did So we did a live thing for a while. It was every Monday with Farrah, the uncut.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And so I would just use my porn name like throughout the rest of every other episode. I would just kind of like build off of it. But my name was Scarlet Bound, and I was like. I was like, have a porn name and have it not actually sound like a porn name. There you go.
Yes. That's interesting. That's an interesting porn name.
Yeah. I had to do something with red.
Yeah, right. Scarlet.
But I didn't want to be corny.
That makes sense. You could have just been like...
I didn't want to be like Cherry.
Or you could just be Bound. Red. That's a good one. That's it. That's creative, I think. I think that was pretty creative.
Then it worked out because then we had to be like another time I was a movie star. And so one of my characters was Agent Scarlet Brown or Bound. And I was really going all out. I had so much fun.
I only did that once. Because she did it at a time where it was like time for me to be going to bed. So and I love Farrah. I love Farrah to death.
Oh, she's so awesome.
So like the fact that she did it so late, I was just like, I was like, I'll at least do one. I'll do one.
Yeah. She did them on Mondays, and I don't go to work till late on Tuesdays, so it was perfect.
Nice.
And I was all out, costumes, hair, makeup, the whole night. Me on 80s night, I was rocking on 80s night.
I saw, because I saw the clips and shit, so it's pretty dope. It's pretty cool. But for sake of time, we'll just close this one out so we can do your episode for your show. So if you don't mind allowing the listeners to if you don't mind telling the listeners where they can find you in your show one more time.
I will allow you to find me on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and X and Threads and YouTube. And I have a Patreon page. Throw that out there too. I put bonus stuff, and I do a lot of my spirit box sessions, and I put them on my Patreon feed. So only special people get those, and that's where I keep all my video content, which with all the weird stuff and the lights and everything else that happens in the meantime, I put those on there. But yeah, anywhere you listen, as far as I know, the basics. What is it? Pandora and iHeart and Apple and Spotify and Spreaker and a whole bunch of other things I'd never even heard of before. I don't even know how I got on there, but I'm there. So hey, in Ethiopia, you can listen to me on some podcast thread that I've never heard of before in my life. But hey, you do you.
You do you, boo boo.
Yeah. Never a dull moment.
Oh man. Well, this was a fun chat. Look, look, the Ohio State Reformatory is a place that I will never go to now, thanks to you. So thank you for letting me know that I don't have to go visit there, because I already know that there's bullshit.
There's day visits. And in case you didn't know, that's actually where they filmed Shawshank.
Yes, I did know that.
Okay.
I knew that.
I got to look in the little tunnel that they used for the escape scene.
Nice. That's dope.
It's not as big as it looked.
Maybe I'll go there for a day thing, but
yeah, see?
I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I'm definitely not going at night. That's for sure.
Yeah, I did the all-nighter.
Yeah. Oof. Nope. You know, I'm not like super scared of this stuff. It's just like I don't want to knowingly subject myself to it. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes
I've made some adjustments since that visit.
Yeah.
I try to do a little bit of, pregame stuff, make sure that I have on. I mean,
That's
I'm not
a
a
good
religious
idea.
person, but I always have usually I have a cross necklace on, which is ironic. So you'll get a kick out of this. I had ordered a cross necklace, where there's like a bubble, and inside the bubble has like the Lord's Prayer, because supposedly that's supposed to help. And whether I believe it or not, I mean, why not try it, right? Better not to risk it. Better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it.
Right.
Now, when this when this showed up, just a little sidebar here. Do you happen to know how to get rid of a witch?
Me, no. I have
So
no
they
idea.
say, lore says, if you recite the Lord's Prayer backwards, you can like expel a witch, or shoo fly the witch. When I got this fucking necklace, I was like, oh, let me look at this prayer. It's upside down. I got a faulty necklace that is upside down. I was like, so to read it, you have to turn the cross upside down. Yeah.
What?
No joke.
That's wild.
Oh, hold on. For your listeners, do you put all your videos out?
Yes. Every video
Okay, cool.
goes out.
Can I show your listeners a party trick?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Let me get something a little thicker than a pencil. No comments. Also, that's what she said. All right, so one second, I'm getting writing here. All right, so this is your name and this is my name, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, yours is fine or fun. Wow, I can't write. I totally just went dyslexic on you. All right, one second. Almost there. All right, ready for the fun party trick?
I'm ready.
All right, so you're Kevin, but you're also Nivek, which actually sounds like an actual name. So congratulations. I am Natasha, but I'm also Satan.
What?
No joke. And we used to laugh, and I always tell people too, we thought it was funny because my mom has really light brown hair. But apparently the entire time she was pregnant with me, her hair turned jet black and then went back to brown when she was done with me.
I think you told me that before, actually, and that is fucking terrifying. You're definitely Nephilim.
Maybe.
You're possessed by a Nephilim spirit.
Yeah,
you just don't know it, because you won't know until you pass away, and then you'll be like, yes, I remember. It's destruction. That's what I was supposed to be doing this entire time.
Oh, what do you mean supposed to be? I got that one down pat. Who are you kidding?
Oh, I see.
Have you not?
I see you.
Yeah. In real life, I'm pretty much a bull in a china shop.
Are you?
Yeah, mess and mayhem.
You just fuck shit up, huh?
Yeah. It's like a hurricane. I don't mean to, but it's kind of like I tell people all the time. It's like, if there's something that's going to fall over, be knocked over, or a bit broken, you bet your ass I'm going to find it.
Yeah, my daughter is the same way. My daughter. But she's not redhead. But she does have freckles. So
I bet that's cute as crap.
Yeah, she is cute. But she lied to me about her TikTok. She made a public TikTok the other day. Well, actually, she didn't technically lie to me. She lied to her mother, so we took her phone away. And I told her mother to make it so she can't have TikTok for now, because she's supposed to be public. I mean, she's supposed to be private on there because she loves making TikTok videos.
Yeah.
And I don't mind her being on it. But I don't want just random people that she has no clue who the fuck they are fucking in her messages and watching her and shit like that. So
the third time my mother's tried to call me.
Ruh-roh, you better answer it.
Yeah, I know.
I'll let
One second, hold on.
I'll let you. Yeah. I'll just do my spiel real quick and end it. So yeah, everybody. That is today's show. So happy that you're here to watch it and enjoy Natasha's stories. It was a lot of fun conversating with her. So this weekend, if you're in the area, Ranson, West Virginia, at the Ranson Civic Center, I will be there vending and speaking. So hope to see you there. It's Saturday, free event, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So anywho, that is it. Remember, question everything and stay weird.
See ya.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.
Because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky, when the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day.